What will happen if I spend 1,000 hours studying one artist?
Maybe they don't want to, yeah. Maybe they just need to, yeah. Maybe I can see through, yeah. All of these angles. All of the riffraffs, all of the shambles, all of the sacrifices and gambles, all of the heat in the kitchen can you handle, all of the blowing of the flame like a candle, all of the doing all the same as shambles, all of the drama, all of the scandals, all of the take me to the beach with my sandals, all of these stresses, they got me mangled, yeah. Maybe they don't want to, yeah. Maybe they just need to, yeah. Maybe I can see through, yeah. All of these angles. Maybe they don't want to, yeah. Maybe they just need to, yeah. Maybe I can see through, yeah. All of these angles. All of these angles. Everywhere angles. Never need a reason. Why would I try? You know I can't please him. We don't wanna conform to these Egypts. We just wanna do our own thing, build an allegiance, build a little space, little defense. Little drop me out, don't need a pretense. Give me real life, burning the incense. Catch me in the booth, you're doing what I do best. All of these angles.
I started this learning experiment about 3 months ago. I want to try to spend 1,000 hours to study one artist, to see what I can learn and what I can use it into my own design. About 3 years ago, I found this horseshoe crab on the beach. I want to design a sculpture based on its color and the structure. I feel HeyGears will be the right artist for me to study and learn from. Hi everyone, my name is Drake, and I've been sculpting for almost 8 years. I go to art school learning sculpting, and after graduating, I go to the toy industry to learn how to turn the sculpture into an actual product. So in this channel, I would like to share you that how did I turn an idea into the final sculpture, and also how to learn from other artists along the way. So I want to forcing myself doing this challenge and learning everything, and also prove to everyone that you can do that too. Because my ultimate goal is being a professor in the college, to show people how to learn, to show people how to adapt different things, different style, different technique from different artists, and finding your own style. So if I made it, then that proves you can do that too. So I want to share with you my learning process. And I divide this learning process into 3 different steps: copy, translate, and evolve. First, copy. I will choose an artist and do a master copy of his artwork to understand their technique, their visual language, and the way to build an image. Master copy is one of the most basic and widely practiced methods in art learning. It has been used for centuries as the way to study great works and great artists. It is like a dialogue across the time. By repeating the artist's work, you know how he thinks, how he chooses, and how he builds the structure. So I think the sketch part is finished, and I don't want to add in more detail. It's going to be covered anyway. So we move on to the color. After I finish all the detail, I switch back to the airbrush to adding the transition between different colors. When I start first reading the book about HeyGears, and I only finished until like this far, I guess. But I mainly focus on how the visual language and how he draw, and finding some inspiration about like how to do the texturing, how did he design the alien. So getting some of those images as the reference when I sculpting. But then I was getting more reference from the other book actually, like this one. Yeah. So I really love this two movie, and the concept book of this are so amazing. But this one is actually my favorite concept book. They have so many like paintings, hand drawing, like sketches, and yeah, these are the most important information that I get from the book, like visual references, detail of the alien. After I finished the master copy, I transformed what I learned from the painting into a sculpture of my own. I return to the stage I'm most familiar with, sculpting. I divide the sculpture into three main parts: the egg, the facehugger, and xenomorph body. After finish the three main parts, I combine it all together, and also I have to cut it into separate pieces so that will fit into the 3D printer that I use. And then I start doing the 3D printing. That won't take a while. So a week later, I finally reached the last point, painting the model. Now I have to reach the final stage of this project. I will paint the sculpture and bring the whole process into the final form. It seems like the hardest part is already behind me, but painting the model was actually the part I feared the most. Every time we finish printing, there's one thing we always need to do, which is priming, to add a base layer on top of the model so you can paint on top of it. For the main color, I decided to use the horseshoe crab shell as the color reference. So at April 10, this project is finally finished. Let's drink first. And overall, it was super exciting when my first time printing it out. It takes really long. It takes almost like 2 months. Go back and forth, do the test, to like cutting the model in different way. Sometimes I forget to adding more resin, and sometimes I don't know why the machine is not working sometimes. So that wastes a lot of time and money when I'm printing this. Way out of my comfort zone to doing this. But I think it's pretty exciting. Like I do learn a lot. Even though I didn't talk about like what did I learn through this project? What did I learn from this master copy? I don't know. Maybe the airbrush, maybe doing color again, and I will keep producing as much as possible. And I plan to do a lot of different artists. Like I want to try to do different art style, learning from different artists, and eventually find my own way to design my own artwork. So finding the style is one of the main reasons why starting this channel. And if I find my own art style in the end, this whole channel is a proof of how people can actually just keep learning, put 100% of effort into learning something, and eventually will find your own style. So the main goal is to show that like what can you learn, how many styles that you can adapt, and how good you can push yourself into. I'm super proud of myself like making all of those. I only spent like 3 months, literally. Now I think it's a good time to start making video about it, like talking about how did I learn, how did I learn from HeyGears or the movie Alien and making this sculpture. It's like the way how we can make something into reality. I used to be in the game major, like animation, and most of our time are sculpting on computer. And now when we have it in a 3D printer, like we can turn things into product. We can turn things into actual physical thing in our room. I think that's the most exciting moment when I like bought in a 3D printer. So turning all my work, printing it out, and physically see it and touch it, that's just such an amazing thing that we can do now. In this channel, I want to mainly sharing how like study experiment goes, like how did I study from one artist to the other one. So this is my first episode, and following I have several different plans, and I'm gonna work on several different things. And yeah, I couldn't imagine that. Like I spent 1,000 hours on this thing. It's so crazy. I write down this in note, like for this summarize. Okay, I'm gonna read it. From beginning to end, this project takes 3 months. As excitement faded, what grew stronger was exhaustion and frustration, and the urge to stop. I realized what kept creation going is not the joy of creating, but the persistence to keep creating. After 3 months, I still didn't find the answer of creation. But I also realized that question is no longer feel so important for myself, because the most valuable part of this journey was not the final sculpture. It's not you. It's not the final painting. It was learning to let go of my obsession with perfection, and to let go of being so hard on myself. When the project was finally finished, that moment felt like a celebration. But what I truly miss are those quiet days in between, when all I did was great. And now, it's time for a new journey. Thank you for watching, and I will try my best to keep uploading. If I didn't, maybe I find a job. Yeah. And also, yeah, forget to talk about that. It's pretty important. So this is the end of this video, and I would like to share all the model that I make in the comment section. And if you download it and print it out, please do whatever you want. I don't care if you sell that, resell that, or anything. But like when you adding color or when you're printing something fun, interesting, please tag me, at me. And I want to see how you do that, and I want to see how other artists using that as a reference or doing anything interesting. So yeah, let me know. And if you have any question about 3D printing, drawing, or any suggestion about this video channel, please leave a comment or send a message to me. Yeah.